Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
The Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn has said the EU can deliver positive change on a wide range of issues and that there's an overwhelming case for the UK to stay in. Mr Corbyn insisted that he is getting his pro-EU message across, despite criticism from a union leader who said his support so far has been half-hearted. Here's our political editor, Laura Kunsberg.
Has Labour just been looking on as the Tories fight it out? That's the fear among the in-camp as the debate grinds towards the end. So there's been a squeeze on to push the party's leader to speak loud and proud.
We, the Labour Party, are overwhelmingly for staying in because we believe the European Union has brought investment, jobs and protection for workers, consumers and the environment.
But many Labour voters think that's also come with too much immigration, acknowledged more clearly than ever by Mr Corbyn today.
But some communities can change dramatically and rapidly, and that can be disconcerting for some people. That doesn't make all of them Little Englanders, xenophobes or racists.
One of your biggest supporters, the leader of the GMB, has told the BBC that Labour has failed to get its message across.
I think the message will be very, very clear that we are campaigning to defend and extend workers' rights and trade union rights in Britain, as we would across Europe. That's why we're working with others, and also pointing out that it's the British government's economic austerity problems that are causing many of the difficulties.
But what is loud and clear at this Labour club in Preston?
Just a question before we start, Bingo. Could I have a show of hands for out, please?
An overwhelming sense, this group at least, want to take the chance of leaving.
It's immigration. The number one priority is immigration. It's a small island, we're overrun by people.
I'm undecided. All my family's voting out.
It's about time England took England back. You know, they don't call us Great Britain for nothing, do they? I'm with Boris.
You with Boris?
Yes, we're with Boris.
And Labour's official campaign to stay in isn't always receiving, shall we say, the warmest of welcomes.
Go back to London with all you yuppie friends and all your banker friends. We're Cornish fishermen.
In Cornwall, it seemed there were more placards than members of the public turning out to listen.
What we're about is ensuring that Cornwall continues to benefit from an incredible level of EU funding.
And one powerful union leader worries the inside might lose because Labour voters don't feel it's their fight and might not bother to vote.
They see it as a bun fight in the Tory party. We have tens of thousands of GMB jobs directly reliant on Europe, that if we're not part of Europe, then that leaves those jobs vulnerable in the least and downright going down the toilet in the worst case scenario.
Only a clutch of Labour MPs believe we should leave the EU, but they claim they have the ear of the party supporters.
They want to take control back to our own country, and I'm afraid the leadership of the Labour Party is very much out of touch with the rank-and-file Labour supporter.
Jeremy Corbyn's promised in the next 3 weeks his and his party's efforts in the campaign will become more intense. But what's striking listening to him today is he listed almost as many downsides as good sides of the European Union. He wants you to vote to stay in, but he's also pushing for a very different European Union.
An ovation here, but to help keep Britain in the EU, Labour needs more than applause. Laura Kunsberg, BBC News.
Well, Jeremy Corbyn wasn't the only person pressing the case for the Remain campaign today. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has also been expressing her hopes that Britain stays in the EU. Well, let's speak to Laura, who's at Westminster for us now. Laura, what's she been saying?
Rita, thanks very much. Well, what voters are not suffering from right now is a shortage of politicians getting involved in this whole debate. In the last 24 hours, we've had the Spanish leader, the Dutch leader, and now this afternoon, Angela Merkel, arguably the most powerful politician in Europe, saying a bit more diplomatically than this, simply, we would be crazy if we vote to leave the European Union.
Nach meiner Erfahrung, jetzt ja auch schon einiger Jahre.
In my experience over the last few years, you will never get really good results in negotiations. particularly on very important issues when you're not in the room and giving input to the decision.
Well, it's no great surprise that's her view. We've known that for a while. What matters about this is that she's chosen to intervene at a really sensitive time for the campaign. The outers show it suggests David Cameron is panicking and getting his mates from around the EU involved. But it's also tricky for the out campaign because she warned there very directly that life for the economy outside the EU could be very chilly indeed. The out campaign has consistently said common sense dictates that we would be able to trade with our European partners even outside the EU. What Angela Merkel did in that comment was pour a cold bucket of water over that, and I think we can expect the Remain side to remind voters of that again and again in the days to come.
OK, Laura, many thanks. Laura Kunzberg there.
I've been getting away with it all my